Hey y'all, this is the chord progressions for the old hymnal song, I Am Determined. And I'm going to do this in the key of G. So, of course, with all of the old hymnal songs, it follows the same chord progressions for all of the verses. I'm going to go through them so that you can see where they fall on, like what lyric they fall on. But it does start on G, G, B, D. When I first found Jesus, C, C, E, G. Something o'er me stole, G. Like lightning, C. It went through me, G. And glory, A, C sharp, E. Filled my soul, D, D, F sharp, A. Back to G. Salvation made me happy and took my fears away, G. And when C, I meet old Satan, G. To him, A, I always say D. Chorus, G, I am determined to hold out to the end. Jesus is with me, on him, A, I can depend. And I know, G, I have salvation, for I feel it. E minor, E, G, B, in my soul. Back to G, I am determined to hold out, D, to the end, G. Okay, so I'm going to go over verse 2 where they fall. G, Satan, he was angry. He said, C, he'd soon be back, G. Just let the path get narrow and he, A, will lose the track, D. But I'm, G, so full of glory, my Lord, C, I always find, G. And I, C, just say to Satan, G, old man, A, get thee behind, D. Alright, verse 3. G, this ill-timed religion makes C, me sometimes shout, G. I don't, C, have time to gossip or any, G, G then A, any time to pout, D. Back to G, they say that I'm too noisy, but when C, these blessings flow, G, I shout, C, oh hallelujah, G. I want A, the world to know, D. Verse 4. Back to G. When I hear the trumpet, C, sounding in the sky, G. And C, the chord C as well. C, like visual C, and then the chord C at the same time. The mountains trembling, G. To heaven, A. I will fly, D. For Jesus, G, will be calling. There'll be chord C, no time to mend, G. With joy, C, I'll go up singing, G. I've held out, A, to the end, D. Okay, so now I'm going to sing through it so you can hear how it goes. And it's got kind of a medium fast tempo, okay? When I first found Jesus, something o'er me stole. Like lightning it went through me, and glory filled my soul. Salvation made me happy and took my fears away. And when I meet with Satan, to him I always say, chorus, I am determined to hold out to the end. Jesus is with me, on whom I can depend. And I know I have salvation, for I feel it in my verse 3. This old-time religion makes me sometimes shout. I don't have time to gossip or any time to pout. They say that I'm too noisy, but when these blessings flow, I shout, oh hallelujah, I want the world to know. Gonna move on to verse 4. When I hear the trumpet sounding in the sky and see the mountains trembling to heaven, I will fly, for Jesus will be calling. There'll be no time to mend. With joy I'll go on singing. I've held out to the end. And then of course you would go back to chorus and end on that. So just a couple of tips. Left hand fillers when you're on the chord of G, bounce from G to D. Okay. When you're on the chord of C, it's C to G. When you're on the chord of A, it's A to E. Okay. And then on the chord of D, it's D to A. You just bounce back and forth between those. Okay. All right. So that is chord progressions in the key of G. Thanks.